being first off, so everybody still has a million emails to read and hasn't had enough coffee yet, eating breakfast. Is everybody ready for the seminar? We good to go? Whoa! First off, great event. I've had a lot of amazing conversations, a lot of people in the room here. The speakers yesterday and the day before were awesome, especially Wicked Ale. You know, I've seen Pete's product forever, and when I saw he was here, I'm like, that's the guy. And great stories. I had the honor of actually studying for a week with Conrad Livingston and the godfather of guerrilla marketing in Las Vegas for a week, which was pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through what we're doing today. My name is Matt Clapp. I am a restaurant marketer by trade. I've had a marketing agency since 2008. Back in 2008, when you approached restaurants and told them about Facebook, they literally said, yeah, bro, my 13-year-old's on it. They thought I was crazy. And also in that time, I've written 2 books. I've got about 300 advertising agencies from around the world that we train on how to help restaurants, breweries, beer brands, entertainment, tourism. And then on top of that, I travel and speak. I hold events every month in different cities. Next month, I'm in Las Vegas for a day, and then I do a 7-day event in California. And then every other month, we go somewhere cool, and then every other month, it's in Cincinnati. So I'll give you a quick background on me. And I'm going to tell you how I got to this point with restaurants and breweries. And it all started with that quote from my client, Nick, I can't deposit likes. He used to always say that. I can't deposit likes, Matt. I can't go to U.S. Bank tomorrow and deposit my 39,000 likes for Hofbrauhaus Pittsburgh. Nick owns a handful of restaurants, 3 of them being Hofbrauhaus Pittsburgh, Hofbrauhaus Newport, and Hofbrauhaus Columbus. And him and 2 partners, that's how I met Nick. So I'll give you the quick story of how I got to this point, just to kind of show you what my life was. So 1999, I got into radio advertising. I sold radio advertising for 4 years and made money, had a blast, got to talk to a lot of people just like you in this room. And one thing I was unique was my dad trained me to be very, very consultative and not do it for money. His comment was, Matt, not everybody needs you. And that's the biggest problem with salespeople. Everybody thinks that they have to have it. He said, so if you can learn to consultative with people, you're going to be right on camera. You're famous. You're good. You can learn to consult with people and listen. They might not need you. You can help them, but down the road, they will need you. And so I did that. Well, also in 99, my dad, myself, and my brother decided we wanted to open up a boat and RV dealership online. So we came up with the concept of having a RV and boat dealership on a website where you could literally list your inventory. We would consign it for you. You'd list it instead of being on the national trade like RV Trader, and we would help you out. I'm not a tech person. My wife's in the back of the room. I used to make fun of her in college because she used to go to this email lab. I could never find her in our dorms. And I'm like, where are you at? And she'd be in the email lab. Remember that? And I would make fun of her being the email girl. I'm like, just write a letter or call somebody. And here we are now later on. I'm the email guy, the texting guy, the digital guy, the get yelled at by my kids for being on my phone all the time. My son always says, hey, I'm Matt Plapp, I'm live. So in 99, we started the boat and RV dealership. I did both that and radio advertising. 2003, I left to run the company full time. And a cool thing happened. Right around 2004, we kept getting a computer virus. Every month. Who's had a virus on their computers and had to pay a couple grand to have an IT person? We've all had that. Well, Glenn was my IT guy. And Glenn was a friend. He was my first ever radio client. I sold him an advertising program. He's the one that sold me the book on building Adobe page build websites, which we built the boat and RV dealership on. And Glenn came in, I'm like, bro, seriously, every month it's 2 G's. Are you planning the virus? Be honest, I'll give you $2 grand. He's like, no, Matt, I'm not. He was like, I got an idea. We have 40 employees at a time. We're going to give every employee a unique login, username, password. They're going to sign off on a disclosure that we are tracking what they're doing so that we don't get sued by them. And all we're trying to do is find where the virus came from. So about a week later, whole nother weird story. We found where the virus was coming from. That's a different world. And about 2 months after that, he comes back and he throws this giant book on my desk. And I'm talking, it's like this thick. And he said, Matt, this book is going to do 2 things. Number 1, it's going to want to have your dad fire everybody. And number 2, it's going to have you licking your chops. Now, what is it? He goes, this is the internet usage of all of your employees the last couple months. He goes, I didn't turn the tracking off. I wanted to show you the power of the internet because I know that you guys are obviously big on the internet. You started on the internet, but I don't think you realize the depth of it. Glenn was huge in SEO, search engine optimization, back in the early 2000s. I didn't know what it was. And so he pulls his book open, and sure enough, it was literally like 50 different websites that our employees went to every day. Fishing.com, BassBoatCentral.com, Airstream Campers. You're a motorhome guy, we were an Airstream dealer. AirstreamForums.com, ArcticCatATVs.com. We sold boats, campers, and ATVs. Hunting, fishing, camping. And my dad's like, they're all fired. They should be on the internet. And I'm like, no. This is great because they're all chat rooms. They were forums before Facebook and probably in the early parts of MySpace. And who remembers MySpace? MySpace, there we go. I had a buddy of mine the other day that posted this. I guess he had his profile pic still saved from it. It was kind of funny. But so I looked at this, and so I started looking at these forums. And it was amazing. Bass Boat Central had 22,000 active daily users. 22,000 bass boat owners on a daily basis were active in this forum. We're a bass boat dealer. I called up Al from Canada, who owned the website, and said, hey, I want to be the exclusive boat dealership for Yamaha Marine. And he goes, okay, $500 for the year. And I'm like, seriously? Okay, $500, heck yeah. Well, I ended up doing that with 17 websites. And so then what I did was I pulled all of our employees in one by one, and I said, man, Sean, I got a problem. What? We're the exclusive dealer for this website called Bass Boat Central. Dude, I'm on it every hour. Oh, you are? I didn't know that. He didn't know I had, it's long gone, the whole research. I said, I need your help. We agreed to be the exclusive Yamaha consultant. So you can get on there with your name. You have to have your full name. You can't have your nickname. You have to have the company website, a logo. You can't sell, and you have to be informative and help people. I had no clue when I started. Next thing I know, 17 employees every day, all day, when they weren't working. My dad at first hated it. Were on these forums. Flash forward about 4 months later. We were the number 3 Yamaha dealership in the United States. That's how I met Jay Conrad Livingston. Yamaha brought him in for the top 20 dealers to do a deep dive with him on guerrilla marketing. And we were the example of guerrilla marketing because of these things. I promise I'm going to get to this in a second. And so we got to Yamaha's meeting down in the Grand Ole Opry. Anybody been to the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville? Giant building, you always get lost in the hallways. And a guy named Ben Jarrett comes up, he was the marketing director for Yamaha. And to put it in perspective, we were always on the borderline of what we could or couldn't do with regards to being a dealer. You know, we'd have a person from Seattle, Washington buy a motor from us. We weren't supposed to sell it to them, but no dealer between here and there had it in stock, and we had 100 of them. And so he walks up and he goes, Matt, I got to show you something. Come look at this website, Google.com. Let me make sure I spelled it. And I'd never heard of Google at that point. And he types in Yamaha 4-stroke motors, and guess what comes up number 1? Our website, Plaps.com, PlapsProOutdoors.com. Yamaha's number 3. We were 1 and 2. And I go, dude, I didn't do it. And he goes, yeah, you did. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And he's like, you did. You're not in trouble. I go, okay, I did. And so he said, well, I need your help. We are terrible as an industry. Somehow you're the genius of this search engine thing, which I didn't know. He's like, figure out how you did it. And then at the symposium event next quarter, bring that data back and let's teach dealers how to be better. And that was the goal. If you were a Symposium 20 dealer, you signed an agreement that whatever you did, you would share with the community of dealers to help everybody. All tides rise. I think a lot of people can view their competitor a mile away as a competitor, whereas if you help them be better, everybody gets better. And so I did. I went back, I said, Glenn, explain how we're number 1 on this Google thing. Well, long story short, he showed me how we were number 1 on Google, and I learned that, and at that point I just started throwing gasoline on the fire. And so flash forward a few years, about I guess 4 or 5 years after that, I was done with the boat business. My dad wanted to retire. We were all equal partners. My dad wanted to retire. My brother didn't really care. I hated having employees. I was not a good boss. Everybody I ever hired, I fired because I was hiring me's, and you can't work with yourself. And at that point, I started doing consulting because I had been published in a lot of different publications in the business about internet marketing, digital marketing. And all of my radio clients from the late 90s, early 2000s were calling me going, Matt, tell me about this marketing thing. So flash forward, 2010, we had about 9 restaurants. We had, I guess, 3 breweries, 1 beer brand, and 9 restaurants we were working with. 3 of them were Hofbrauhaus, Pittsburgh, Newport, and Columbus. And we picked up Hofbrauhaus, Cleveland eventually. And we were spending about $1 million, $1.2 million a year on marketing for them. Radio, TV, Pittsburgh Steelers, Pittsburgh Pirates, Cincinnati Reds, Columbus Crew, mass media. All stuff that you have no clue. Throw it against the wall, hope and pray somebody walks into your restaurant or brewery and buys something. Comes in and buys a growler, a crowler, or beer. And they loved it because they were so used to it. So many old school people are accustomed to spending money on TV, and you know what? You just have to do it, right? Well, I was this guy telling them we got to be on Facebook, Google, Yelp, everywhere. We got to have a presence everywhere. digitally because it's in their hand. And he said to me, he's like, Matt, we had taken Hofbrauhaus Pittsburgh from 9,000 likes to 39,000 page likes when page likes were important back then. We had taken huge numbers. We had, on a bad month, we were having 300 to 400,000 video views. I had a company I hired for $2,000 a month that would come in and videotape the brewmaster talking about that month's seasonal beer, how it was paired with food. He's actually was from Dusseldorf, Germany, so he talked about his heritage and why that beer was important to him. And these videos blew up. And he's like, well, Matt, I can't deposit likes. I'm like, well, Nick, we also can't deposit we could deposit the million we spent on TV and radio. We can't do anything with that. We can see this. He's like, well, prove it to me. So that led me down a path. April 26th, 2015 was then a huge American holiday, National Pretzel Day. We all love the Hallmark holidays. And I said, okay, Nick, it was 2 weeks before that. I said, let me do a promotion. It's on a Sunday. It's early in the season. The beer gardens aren't jamming yet. Let me do a discount on our number one P-Mix item, half off pretzels and beer cheese. Anybody ever had the pretzels and beer cheese at Hofbrauhaus by any chance? It's pretty solid. And so we did it. We spent $50 on 3 different Facebook ads in each market. We sent 1 email out, and we made a couple Facebook posts that week. We had $18,000 in sales, 100% attributed to people walking in with their phone and showing that. He called me Monday morning and said, Matt, I can deposit 18 G's. Keep doing your thing. So what happened at that point was it got a little crazy for about a month because he's like, bro, let's do National Fried Pickle Day next week. Let's do National Sauerkraut Ball next. Literally, we did those. And about 3 weeks into it, I said, stop. Time out. We're killing our profit because these people are already coming here and they know that every Sunday is some half-off discount. Why do we want to give money to somebody who's sitting here? And I said, on top of that, I can't attribute that money to Matt Platt, for example. And Matt Platt came with his wife and his 2 kids and had lunch and spent this much money and then market to them differently. So it set me on a journey. I went to the National Restaurant Association show in May of 2015. I'm thinking, okay, I'm just this little marketing guy. There's 4,000 companies here. Some genius has created what I need. Wrong. I literally thought I was in the 80s. The marketing stuff at the NRA show was an absolute joke. I mean, literally, it was stuff that Nick would have loved. Anybody ever been to the NRA show? Anybody? I always get people say, why you got a gun show, Matt? I'm like, no, it's a restaurant. So that leads me to this point. So what I found and what I started to create was I realized that there was 2 key components all of my clients were having a hard time with. Number one, they struggled finding new customers. And the reason they struggled finding new customers is they didn't know who their current customers were. And I don't mean that you know Bobby who comes in every Thursday and has a beer at 2 o'clock. I'm talking about knowing Bobby, his email address, his messenger number, his cell phone number, and having information on him. And then the part that was the biggest problem with restaurants is repeat business. Hope and pray is the biggest part of everybody's marketing plan. A lot of you in here are hoping and praying every day that your best customers come back. There's a place near my house called Walt Hitching Post. My wife and my kids and my mom and dad go there probably 3 to 4 times a year. We spend $300 to $400 a pop. It's a higher end steak and rib house. It's amazing. My favorite restaurant. The problem is I never drive by it. It's off the beaten path. It's not near my house or work, my office, and they don't have any of my information, so they never market me. The only way they can hope to reach me is that I see their billboard that they put in Cincinnati. I actually saw it on Facebook, oddly enough. And so what I talk about with businesses, I'm like, in order to drive repeat customers, you have to know the people you want to bring in. Meaning Waltz needs to know that Matt Platt comes in. If Matt Platt spends $250 per visit and comes in 4 times a year, that's $1,000. I can guarantee you if I got a text message from Walt Hitching Post once every month or 2 and said, hey bro, we miss you. This steak is calling your name. I'd be Christy, we're on the Waltz tonight. And if they got me in 4 more times a year, do the math, it's $1,000. There's 100 mats out there. 100 mats at $1,000 is $100,000 in sales a year for Waltz. All of the overhead is already there. Take the food costs off, that's 70 G's a year right there, just from knowing Matt and driving repeat business. The other key element of knowing your customers, whether you love it or not, our past election was won off of retargeting lookalike people. 100%. Trump was running 100,000 ads per day based on what people look like just like other people. And your business is going to be doing the same thing. And so when you understand who your customers are, you can build YouTube ads, Google, Facebook, Instagram, and target very specific people who look just like your best customers. And the goal of all of that is once you have new customers, once you have your current customers, you can drive repeat visits. And what is the biggest thing that I have found in restaurants and breweries that people are not good at is upselling. The staffs are overworked, they're rushed, their customers are on their phones instead of ordering. Me and my wife last night at the lake kept looking at us, we're on our phones instead of ordering. It slows down the ticket time, it makes things a little harder. And they're not on their game. They don't know how to upsell. They don't upsell, hey, you want to take a growler home with you? Hey, what if you buy this beer? Hofbrauhaus had this great promotion with the Das Boot. Anybody seen the giant Das Boot, the glass boot? I'm sure people have it, brands have it. They never sold it, and they never asked. And so what we found is the way to increase average check size is to use digital marketing to bring somebody in with a specific promotion that is going to upsell. But you got to know your people. So let's dig into this. The strategy I've created, which isn't rocket science, I call the ROI engine marketing strategy. I call it the ROI because Nick used to always hammer home, Matt, ROI, 4-to-1 ROI. I'm like, Nick, you're telling me to spend $1 million on radio and TV. We don't know what the ROI is. Is business better today because it's sunny versus cold? Is it better because the Reds are in town playing the Cardinals versus playing the Brewers? Who knows? Question time. What is the asset that this magazine owns? Why can they sell you a $500 advertisement? Somebody. Readership. They have an audience. So let's just imagine that Park Shore Grill buys an ad in here, and it crushes it. Because I'll tell you this, all advertising works. It's a matter of if your message is right, the call to action is right, and the audience is right. But all advertising works. It's a matter of also at what level. So let's imagine Park Grill spends their advertising dollars on this, and it works. And they go, man, we want to do it again. Who do they have to pay again next month? This magazine. The problem with most marketing is businesses spend their marketing dollars and ad efforts on that bottom black line to drive sales. When you constantly spend money to drive sales, you're paying somebody else for their audience. What you should be doing is spending money to build an audience, to build a database. When you spend money to build your own database via text, email, messenger, website visits, video views, you don't have to pay somebody else to reach your people. You just run the marketing. We've got a brand of ours that we've been doing some experimenting with. We've got hundreds of restaurants we work with and breweries, every type you can imagine. One of them in particular, we've been doing some experimenting with. It's a brand out in the West Coast called Coconut Kenny's. And it's a casual dining, higher-end pizza restaurant. Really unbelievable brand, really cool brand. And we experimented with certain parts of their database. So back in January, on January 9th, we did a promotion for a buy one, get one free sandwich. And who eats sandwiches at pizza places? Probably not as many people. You're a pizza restaurant. But they wanted to drive lunch sales and the sandwich sales because they had amazing sandwiches. They wanted their pizza customers to try the sandwiches. And so we took that advertising, we put the marketing dollars into a better offer. Because it's January. Business was going to be terrible. They knew it. Credit card, people would spend their money on credit cards. Business was always down in January. So January 9th, we picked 2,900, and I think it was 82 people out of their 10,000 person database. The reason I tell you that specifically is we didn't send it to everybody because we have enough data to know that it doesn't relate to everybody, and I'll show you that in a minute. It did, last time I looked, it did $12,000 in sales on sandwiches after the discount. Net sales, $12,000 on one Facebook message that was sent to a very specific database and email to get people to use it. What did we spend on that message? $0. They own the database. Who in here has an email list? Doesn't cost you anything to use your email list, does it? Who in here might have a software fee, but nothing major? Who in here has a text list? Doesn't cost you much to send a text. If you use Twilio through some automation, it's 0.07 of a penny. Who in here has a Facebook Messenger database? There is a little cost on that, but not much for the 80% open rates and 60% click-through rates. So when you think of spending money on marketing, think of this one thing, please. If you leave with anything else from today, spend to build. Spend money to build your own assets so you can stop paying people for this. But you can also eventually use this to do what? Build. On here say, hey, we want you to visit. Go to this URL, scan this code to get an exclusive offer. You don't have to publish the offer because you can change it when you want to. You drive them somewhere, you own the traffic. And by the way, there's copies of my book over on the table over there. If there's not enough, just let me know. I'll get my publisher to send one. It's called Sell More Slices. But the easy part about it is you cover the slices up, and guess what you say? Sell more beer, sell more growlers, sell more tours, sell more burgers, wings, whatever. The concept is the same. So here's the three things that we look at when we look at marketing for businesses. Number one, what do we use to attract customers? Number two, what do we use to acquire data? And last but not least, what do we use to build relationships? Because the crappiest part about most marketing, and probably a lot of marketing in this room, and what I did wrong for a long time, was we sent the same thing to everybody. I was telling a story the other day. We were at a meeting for my team. I have Ashley on my team who's married with no kids. She's like 30, 31. I have Tanya on my team who is single with no kids. She's in her mid-20s. I have Tom, who's in his early 30s, one kid, no spouse. Doug, who's, 5 years older than me, so he's 48. I always remind him he's older. He's probably watching. I got it live on Facebook down here. So Doug has one kid in college, one in high school. He's married. I'm married with two kids. And then I've got Mark, who's on my team, whose daughter is in college. So it's him and his wife. If I send the same message to everybody in that group, it's dull. It doesn't make any sense to most of them. Tanya has no use for a kids eat free. Mark has no use for a buy one, get one free wiener schnitzel because he's, he would, but let's say Tanya wouldn't because she's going by herself. So you got to look at the audience. So when you talk about building relationships, we're going to talk about that. So the tools you can use. Number one, tools we use to attract people. Facebook and Instagram ads. Who in here is using Facebook and Instagram ads? I hope you all are. It's a freaking gold mine, even if you spend $5. You can spend $1 a day, and the targeting you can do is absolutely insane. Google and YouTube are the same way. Social media management. Managing your presence. One thing I tell a lot of people, I think people get so out on a wing on, they go to a conference like this, which by the way, congrats on coming to a conference like this because the majority of your peers are not here. I'm a huge proponent of education and a huge proponent of being around people of like mind. How many people in here have met somebody this week that has amazing energy, ideas, and just a positive person that you think you could be around more often? That's an advantage over your competitors. That's an advantage over people that you're competing against in business. They're sitting at home right now on their computer stressed out with negativity. And so social media management, think about it this way. I just came over a bridge over here, and I got this water I'm going over top of. If I've got 10 half-built bridges, I don't get over the bridge or the water. The problem with social media is everybody tries to be on every one of them. If you're not dominating Facebook by far is the number one platform. I don't care what you're doing unless you literally are targeting anybody under 21. But I'll show you an example later, or I'll tell you an example. 18 to 21-year-olds are still on Facebook. We have some great case studies. But if you're 21 plus, which beer, I guess you probably are. I don't know what we got maybe another country in here. But Facebook you should own. You should dominate. It should be your 100% focus. When you dominate Facebook, then you step into either Instagram or YouTube. Once you dominate one of those, then you go to the other. Then you go down your list. Don't try and be average on all of them. And that's what a lot of brands do. Last but not least, marketing consulting. I'll say business consulting. Who in here has a coach of some sorts? Get a coach. I spent $100,000 last year, and I bet you my company is smaller than a lot of you. I spent $100,000 on coaches last year. They know what I don't know. I spent $1,000 last Friday. I drove 4.5 hours to Nashville, met with a friend of mine, and then he had a mastermind, $1,000 for 3 hours. Why? Because Mike has been down the path I'm on, and he's dominating it. Find somebody that's ahead of you, and either pay them to be your friend, or find a way to become their friend. 3 years ago in San Diego, California, have you ever seen Billy Jean? He's a guy that's big on digital marketing. He's out of California. He has a pretty linear face on YouTube. Billy Jean's a coach of mine. And 3 years ago, I went to one of his events, and I saw two people in the room that stood out to me that were already where I wanted to be, Mike Garcia and Chris Patterson. Mike Garcia is who I drove to see on Friday, who I spent 11 hours with. It was supposed to be a half-hour meeting, 3-hour mastermind. 11 hours with a guy that's crushing it in my business, in the fitness business of what I'm doing. And then Chris Patterson's a guy that's in Florida, who I just hosted an event with 2 weeks ago. I made my mind up those two were going to help me get better. So hire a coach. Consultants. Who in here has radio, TV, print consultants that call on that you like? Damn. Okay, one person. Who in here has a consultant that comes to your place consistently? Who in here has somebody that tries to sell you advertising? They're your best tool and your best friend. You know why? They're talking to all of your competitors. They're talking, when I sold radio, I talked to 100 businesses a week. I knew exactly what everybody was doing. And if you, now granted, some of them are a little aggressive and probably don't have the give and take. They just want their hand out to buy something. They can be a huge resource for you. They know more than you know about marketing, especially digital marketing. I always tell people, I train hundreds of digital marketers. They know 90% more than any small business owner. And they don't take enough advantage of that. You know, have conversations with people that know more than you. Tools you can use to acquire data. Who in here has a birthday marketing program? Everybody, get one. What's the number one time we all think about going out to eat or drink? Our birthday. Do we go alone typically? No. We take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 friends. A friend of mine, Phil James, we call him the Milkshake Man. He's in Iowa, over by the Caucasus. He runs a program for a couple breweries that incentivizes the birthday person to come for free. It does $12 grand a month on a $5 per day Facebook spend. Because that person, they know that if I go there on Thursday night, the month of my birthday, on Thursday night, I'm on the house. They bring 10 people with them. They have a great time. It's a brewery. So take advantage of it. Gain and gate review programs. Who in here is using a private platform like Facebook Messenger to get feedback from your customers, positive and negative? It's a great way. If you ask people, who in here has had a negative review in the past year? Why don't y'all lie? Everybody written. And who in here cringes? It's like a punch to the stomach. It's hard because you know you work your butt off. All these customers all think we're billionaires and it's easy, but you've had a bad review. If you gave them an opportunity to leave that review privately, most of them will. And when you leave it privately, like in Facebook Messenger, they tell you it's bad, you can fix it. If they tell you it's good, you can say, hey, we appreciate that. Please go to Facebook, Yelp, TripAdvisor, somewhere and leave us a positive review. We appreciate your support. Wi-Fi password. Who has a facility that has Wi-Fi in it? My wife and I were at an amazing pizza place down in Madeira Beach last night. They had their Wi-Fi password up on a little board. It said password Madeira Beach something. I did a live video on it. All they've got to do is say, want the Wi-Fi password? Scan this code or go to this URL. And I can show you all how to do this for free. Just message me. I'll show you later on how to get in touch with me. Scan this URL or go to this URL. It opens up a conversation in Facebook Messenger. Says, hey, Matt, we appreciate you being at the restaurant. Click yes below with your email address and we'll give you the Wi-Fi password. Why give them something for free without something in return? Everything you do in marketing should be trying to acquire data. Last but not least, an opt-in program. Some type of program that somebody from inside your restaurant, on your website, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, can click or comment and go somewhere and get their information. And then the last tools we use to build relationships, email marketing, text marketing, messenger marketing, and the number one, retargeting. Retargeting on use. I'm going to tell you a little bit about how iPort. Anybody seen the iPort beer walls? The self-serve beer walls, we work with them. We have about 10 other facilities. We're actually flying out next week to put a deal together to work with all of them. And they have some amazing data to work on retargeting. So I'll talk about that. So the three things that we talk about on customer acquisition, this is the opt-in program. You should be running marketing like I'm going to show you. This is an example of many things you can do. But running marketing to attract attention. It's like Pete talked about yesterday. Attract attention. Stop their patterns. Quit hoping and praying. When you attract their attention, acquire their information and drive a visit. The worst part about a database that just sits there that you don't know what they did is that you don't know what they did. Imagine if you have a 10,000 person database and you have no clue if 10,000 have ever been in your restaurant or brewery or your tour. Imagine if you know that 4,500 of them have been. Now you can use that a little differently. And then the last is start a relationship. So I'm going to give you a quick example. This is an ad for a place called, this is a pizza place in Arkansas, Eureka Pizza. It's pretty simple. The headline above it would say, you want a free pizza. Who in here, if you saw something, wants a free pizza? And who in here is scared to give away something for free? You should love giving away something for free for one reason, if you can acquire data. If I owned a restaurant or brewery, the joke in my business, in the next 5 years, I'm probably going to open one just to practice everything I preach. But I invest, everything I'm talking about today, I do for my own marketing firm. I spent $20,000 in 12 days last month on Matt Platt. And I am not a big business, but I understand how to use it, and I understand the long term of it. But it's comment below to get a free pizza. It's got, if you can look at it, 5,300 comments, 300 shares. This is a small brand in a couple small cities. Who in here has had 5,000 comments on a Facebook post? One person. Who in here has taken those 5,000 comments and had an automated response go to Facebook Messenger and get their email, birthday, and text opt-in? Nobody. Nobody's doing it. So in this case, when they comment on this, anybody heard of the comment growth tool in Facebook Messenger? When people comment on a Facebook post, you can have it set up to where it automatically sends them a message in Facebook Messenger. Now the thing you don't see on here actually does is when you comment, we'll send you a free pizza offer through Facebook Messenger. You'll be enrolled in our VIP program, the first to get best monthly promos. Quick little tip here. Can you guys see the little see more above the pizza where it says see more? That is because we put too much text in there to display the whole ad. That is an amazing hack on Facebook. That's called positive attribution. Facebook's algorithm is based on when people interact with your marketing. And so if somebody has to click that see more button, Facebook knows. And when they click see more, Facebook goes, okay, Matt Platt saw this ad, he stopped the scroll, positive. If I don't stop the scroll, negative, because their algorithm knows it. He clicks see more positive. He commented, oh crap, more positive. So what happens is now Facebook's algorithm says, Matt Platt just stopped, clicked, commented. Let's eliminate these 500 people who had the same opportunity that didn't, and let's find more dudes that wear orange like Matt. Supposed to laugh at that one. No, I'm just kidding. And if you ever see me, you'll see me. I always have orange shoes on. I always have an orange shirt. My wife thinks I have something mentally wrong with me. I probably do. And that is a fist bump, right? Wrong. It's MP, Matt Platt. So whenever you get somewhere with a rock next time, you remember Matt Platt. So what happens when they comment on this, we do a couple things. Number one, we get their messenger opt-in. Facebook Messenger open rates are 98% for the clients we work with. 98%. When was the last time you sent 1,000 emails and got 980 of them open? Never. Maybe like 1980 when Gore created the internet and we all had email possible. See, I saw some people laugh. That shows your age. We get an email opt-in. We ask them, hey bro, what's your email address? They give it to us. It's already populated in Facebook. We get their text opt-in. Hey, what's your cell phone number? Because Facebook has rules. We can't communicate with you every day on Messenger, but we can with text. If you want the best offers, click your number below or skip. And then they give a double opt-in for text. And then we ask their birthday. The coolest part is we now have the ability to retarget. Think about it. Somebody stopped on the ad. They clicked see more. They commented. They gave us a keyword in Messenger to opt in with Messenger. They gave us their email, their phone number. They confirmed their phone number. They gave us their birthday. 8 things. I can go to Facebook and Instagram and go find me more people that look identical to these people and tell them about my beer tour, my beer bus, my growlers, my crowlers, my breweries, my restaurant. Am I making sense? Okay. Next, what good is it to do all of that if you can't prove it? What good is it to go to the gym every day of the week and look identical in 20 years? You want to see results. So in this case, what we've done is we've set up automation through a software called Zapier. Anybody ever heard of Zapier? Zapier is an amazing tool for anybody in here. You can use it for about anything to automate stuff. You can literally eliminate so many tasks in your life, you'd love it. But this is a dashboard we built that's populated. This is a 6-location pizza brand in Washington. Their ads, and this is a 6-month time period, 284,000 impressions on Facebook and Instagram, 9,077 engagements. That led to 7,642 opt-ins. What I tell my clients, the reason we've built this is that we can prove that the people, because if I've got 7,642 opt-ins, but none of them come to the restaurant or brewery, it's useless. Who cares? I spent money to get people that aren't taking action. I don't want them. In this case, we can see that 2,772, or 26% of them, responded and walked in and spent $92,406. It cost $5.05 to acquire that customer. My accountant always told me, Matt, it does no good to do a profit and loss if you don't actually look at it for me and give me feedback. It's the same with marketing. It's understanding when you spend $10,268 that you get $92,000 in return on the front end and the data for the future. So the big thing there is, number one, driving the visit. That's why I tell people, give away something awesome on the front end. You know what one of my number one promotions was with about 10 different breweries? A free logoed growler. What does a growler cost? $2.28 is what we paid. Anybody paying less than that? $2 or $3 for a logoed growler? Is that about right? Okay. I'm assuming you guys, everybody said yes. I'm assuming I'm right. $2.28 is what we paid for these growlers. We bought 1,000 of them. We did a promotion through this for a free logoed growler. Guess what people put in the growler when they got it? Beer. Guess what they did when they were at the restaurant? They had a liter of beer. They had food. That $2 growler drove like $25 average checks. And it got us their data. And plus we knew then the person liked beer. So then at that point we surveyed them and said, hey, I'll show you in a second, we do general reminders and we do surveys. So once that person got their free growler and they put in Facebook Messenger how much they spent, and it went to the dashboard, we then asked them a couple questions. Hey, how often do you visit? Are you a first-time customer or have you come often? You know, what type of beer do you like? Why do you visit? Who do you visit with? We get 4, 5, 6 questions answered in about 20 seconds, and now we've got a database of people. This is what it looks like. I had to change the name in the picture because for a long time I actually had the profile of a person in our database, and my employees were like, Matt, like your videos get about viewed 1 million times the last 3 months with that girl Maria on there. You should probably not have her name there. Like her email was blocked and her last name. So I put my beautiful wife Christy and our kids when they were like this big. Now Paige with the little thing on her eye is in Orlando getting ready to cheer tomorrow for the national championships. We're driving to see her. But this is information from an actual customer. The lady's real name is Marie. You can see at the top when she came in through Facebook Messenger, she took our survey. She told us she eats lunch and dinner. She has kids. She's married. She's redeemed her opt-in offer. We have her phone number, her email, and her birthday. One of my goals in marketing, all of you take back, is you need to separate your database. If you've got 10,000 people in a database, you need to be able to separate them. To know these are the women, these are the men. These are the wine drinkers, these are the beer drinkers. These are the party bus people, these are the people that did our what do they call the pedal car. These are the growler, these are the crowler. These are lager, stout, IPAs. Because I got a buddy of mine that hates IPAs. So what good would it do to market to him for your new IPA on tap? He hates them. It's like he thinks it's like against the world, like code of the world. I don't know why, but he just hates IPAs. And so now we have all this information and we can segment people. So instead of sending an email, a restaurant that we talked to 2 weeks ago, he has a database of 17,000. I got his email. He called me. He was asking questions. He goes, Matt, how would you fix what we're doing? I said, well, how many people got that email? 17,000. Oh, damn, that's pretty solid. How many people on your email list? 17,000. I'm like, so you just sent an email to 17,000 people that probably only applies to 2,000. We had a client call us last week for the Super Bowl. And the only reason I saw it was because we use Facebook Workplace. Real quick hack. Anybody here using Facebook Workplace? Facebook has a product called Workplace. It is for businesses. It's identical to Facebook except for it's for your company or your clients. Every one of our clients has a private Facebook group in Workplace. They can put their request. They don't email us. They don't call us. They don't text us. They pop in there and go, hey, Matt, here's a video of us tapping the new beer last night. They pop it in Workplace. They tag one of my team members. My team member turns it into marketing. There's no email. There's no text message. No phone calls. It's quick. But anyways, I happened to look in our company Facebook Workplace where all my team puts stuff. One of my team members, Doug, popped in there and said, hey, just got a call from a client. Actually, not call. The guy commented in his group and said, hey, he wants to do a chicken tender promo for the Super Bowl. He wants to send it to the entire database. And I said, I saw it. I said, no. He's got a 10,000 person database or so. 50% of people eat tenders, 50% eat buffalo wings. So now we got a tender promo. You send me a tender promo, I'm not having it. I won't take advantage of it. So why waste my bandwidth? You know the reason email marketing doesn't get open that much? We've wasted everybody's bandwidth with stuff that doesn't relate to them. Same with Facebook ads. How many people are running a Facebook ad running everybody that follows your brand? No. Everybody that follows your brand, that visited your beer menu, that clicked this link. If you're doing it correctly, you can do all that. How much time do I have, by the way? 10? Cool. And so the concept is building a database so that when you send that email, you don't send it to 10,000 people for chicken tenders on a Sunday for Super Bowl. You send it to the people that you identify that are possible targets. Instead of 10,000, you get it down to 2,000. So you don't waste bandwidth. Cool. Here's the idea. I want you to go to this URL. Who has Facebook Messenger on their phone? little test. You can see how this works. And if you want to unsubscribe at the end, that's fine. This is my public figure page. Just type in at the end, unsubscribe, opt out, Matt. If you contact me, I'm going to come to your house and egg it, pound salt, whatever. What it's going to do is it's going to come in. This is the exact experience a customer can have with your brand. It's meant to look exact. It's going to give you a notification. It's going to take you to Facebook Messenger. You're going to click Get Started. Has anybody got there yet to Get Started? You're going to click Get Started. It's going to send you a disclaimer and say, hey, in order to join our club, we need some information from you. Answer a couple questions below. It's probably going to ask for your email address first, I think. Birthday. So you can skip or you can put your birthday. By the way, 92% of consumers give us their birthday. You know why? They want something. Why the hell not? Give them something. Bring me in on my birthday. I spend money. I go to Walt's. Our bill at Walt's the last time I went for my birthday was like $450. The next it asks for, I think, email, then cell phone. If you get a product, now who got the pizza promo? Who got the next, after that, got a little pizza promo sent to them? Anybody? Maybe not. After you put all your information in, you should have gotten a promo. You got it? Now here's what you're going to do. Imagine you're the consumer. You walk into your establishment. What's the name of your business?
The Main Brew Bus.
The Main Brew Bus. So imagine somebody comes to the Main Brew Bus. They experience it. They get to the end. Let's just imagine they got to pay a bill. I'm guessing they probably paid before they get on the bus. And they go, hey, I want to pay my bill. I've got the buy one, get one free pizza. So your server is going to go, your tour guide, great. Do me a favor, click the redeem button twice. So go ahead and click, there's a button there. Click that redeem button twice. We do it twice because people love clicking stuff when they're not supposed to. So the first little warning says, hey bro, are you here? Don't click it. So you're going to click it twice. Now it asks for a check total. So enter an amount. $100, $10, whatever. Now the next part we have happen immediately. We tell our clients to delay it. It's going to ask you a series of questions now. It's going to say, hey, we appreciate your business. Answer a few questions. And this takes, you've got to answer real quick. It's like, are you a new customer? Yes or no? If you say no, if you say yes, you're a new customer, it takes that question. If you say you're not a new customer, it asks you how often you come. It might say how many times you visit. Then it's going to ask you, probably married, single, kids, no kids, lunch, dinner, both, whatever. The concept of that is segmenting the audience. For the restaurants, for example, the one big thing we found is like when people tell us, I'm not a new customer, I do visit, great, how often? Weekly, bi-weekly, or seldom? If somebody visits weekly, I don't need to give them a promotion. I just need to remind them why they love us. And if you know information about them, you can send them subtle reminders. I get a text message twice a day, twice a week from CC's Pizza for the last 6 months. I was showing somebody here the other day the text, and he cringed. Oh, it was a gentleman, I can't think of his name now. I was showing him, he was like, oh my gosh, why haven't you deleted it? I said, because that's a great example to use in videos all the time. And it's literally constant. I've never clicked it. If they knew I had or hadn't, they might change their pattern. But we can now market to people a little differently. We can now say, oh great, you've been here seldomly. Bro, how do we get you to come back more seldomly? That'll work. That makes sense, more seldomly. And you can send different marketing based on that. You can have specific conversations. So the example I also want to give you with regards to retargeting, I Pour It is a self-serve beer wall. I think there's 2 or 3 within a couple blocks of here. And what they do is you walk into the restaurant, you put your driver's license and credit card, and you get a RFD bracelet. You walk up, they've got, depends what the brand is, but like Rapid Fire Pizza, Bowling Green, Ohio has like 27 beers on tap, some wine, some ciders. You walk up, you see which one you want, you put it on there, it tells you, hey Matt, you got 26 ounces left. You pour an ounce, you taste it, love it, you get a whole cup and you sit down. Their software pulls the data in and tells us how many ounces. So I know the entire day, we have a database for one of their restaurants, 40,000 people are in it. And it tells us the average person that pours 24 ounces on a visit, the average person. And so we can also look in there and say, okay, who in there has poured over 24? Somebody's poured 100. Okay, they have visited 4 times. We can look at dates. We can take that data, load it into Facebook and Instagram, and say everybody that has visited this many times goes into this custom audience. Who here uses custom audiences for Facebook? Great, love it. You can segment that. You can then do something really cool and say, okay, here's everybody who hasn't been in, who's only been in once in the past 3 months. And you can run a specific Facebook or Instagram ad to them and call them out. Hey, you were in the last couple months, but you've only been in once. Did you not love the beer wall? Was there something we did wrong? You can run specific. People get freaked out, and it catches their attention when they see an ad. I had a weight loss client we worked with a long time ago that we identified the ideal person was a 40-year-old white woman who drives an SUV and lives in this neighborhood and shops at Kenwood Town Center. We had customers tell us that came in and bought that said, I opened the direct mail piece up, I thought it was me. Because there's a white lady with a shopping bag in front of a white Suburban in front of Kenwood Town Center. I had many customers told the doctor that came in from the marketing, I thought it was me. I was like, holy crap, and I realized it wasn't me, and I'm like, hey, this actually, they wanted to work on it. Facebook ads, Instagram ads, YouTube, all that's the same exact thing. Use the data to cross-reference, and then use it also to create a lookalike audience. Who in here does events at their brewery? Okay. You have a retargeting ad running every day for people that have visited the events page for your website. Okay, we're going to go in the hallway afterwards. I got a pillowcase with soap in it. We're just going to take some beatings. No, I'm just kidding. You have anybody using the Facebook Pixel or the Google Tag Manager, Google Pixel? Facebook Pixel is a tool, a code. It's free. You put it on your website. You hook it up to Facebook, and you can also use what's called the Google Tag Manager. You can use Google to do it with YouTube, your Google Pay, everything with Google and Facebook, Instagram, and you can retarget people based on the usage of your website. If I go to your website, like I was telling a beer brand the other day, if I'm you, I'm not having all my beers on one page. I'm having it segmented. Lager, Dunkel, all these different types of beers, whatever. And I'd have it so they could click and look at what lagers you have, and what stouts you have, what IPAs. Because the one reason, I want to know the visitors of that brand, or that type of beer. If you've got a weddings at your place, have a page for weddings. If you do company sales meetings, have a page for company sales meetings. And then run an ad retargeting those people based on that. That's all I got. Any questions? Somebody's got a question. Yes, ma'am.
Are you using a specific chatbot for the messenger back and forth?
Yeah, we use ManyChat is the product we use, and then we've built a lot of stuff on our end, customized. And I've got, if you've messaged me too, I'll pop in there and I'll look. I can send you, we have some free online tutorials. I can send you, we have some free different downloadable chatbots you can add to your account. Yes, sir.
You talked about databases. Do you use a software company for a database, or you just run through your MailChimp or your email?
Yeah, so we have a brand, we actually have our own app that we use for our database that allows us to store everybody and all the tags. You can use ManyChat. ManyChat as well has the brand that you can literally, everybody that comes in there, it stores their name, their tags, their email, their cell phone. You can do email marketing, text marketing, Facebook ads from ManyChat. ManyChat started off as a Facebook Messenger tool. And if you want, let me know. I can give you a link to it. I think you might get a month free or something like that from me because we're a partner with them, and I spoke at their conference last year. But ManyChat is a product that allows you to pull your database in there and do a lot of things with it. But you can also use from ManyChat and Messenger and take it to MailChimp, Constant Contact, all those places. The only thing I don't like about MailChimp and Constant Contact, they're one-dimensional, they're email. And I think, honestly, anybody that you talk to, that you converse with, you should try your damnedest to get their phone number, their email, and their birthday. Everybody's like, oh, people can give it. 92% give us their birthday, 88% give us their phone number, like I think it's 96% give us their email. And we have less than a 0.02 opt-out rate for all of the brands we work with. The reason we have a low opt-out rate is we don't send them crap. We don't spam them. We don't do what CC's Pizza does to me every freaking 3 days. Any other questions? Cool, I'll hang out over here by the table. I've got my book for free if you want to come over and get a copy. If I don't have enough copies, I'll make sure to get you one. You can just give me your information. I'll have the publisher mail it to you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me and love it.